This is your sports TV station in Lorain, WLCS TV 20.
Welcome to non-conference volleyball, freshman volleyball, as we have Clearview versus Lorain. The Clearview Clippers freshmen will serve. Lorain will be on serve receive to open up this game. Clearview in the light blue jerseys and Lorain in the dark blue. Rob Polinsky here with you along with Joe Bach as we're set for freshman volleyball. Each team comes in with a record of 1-7, and serving for the Clearview Lady Clippers to begin the ball game will be India Santiago. Santiago with a good deep serve, and it's 1-0 Clearview. Unable to pass that ahead was Mackenzie Barnett for Lorain. Elizabeth Benlack, the Titan coach in her first year. David Payne, the second-year freshman head coach for Clearview. Santiago again with another good deep serve. Passed ahead by the freshman Titans. There's a set. Hit from the left side of the front row is hit over by Mercedes Rivera. And we'll get you the lineups here as soon as we can. From the back row, that's Barnett. And on the third hit, hitting it over is Nia Smith. And we're going to have a play into the net by Clearview, so we're tied at 1. For Lorain, starting will be Yasmin Faria, Mercedes Rivera, Nia Smith, Jada Colbert, Mackenzie Barnett, and Hannah Lurie. Checking in for the Titans is Aaliyah Thomas. For the freshman Clippers, India Santiago, Jessica Baca, Carlea King, Ariana Leos, Brianna Novak, and Kayla Clark. Clearview up 2-1 as we're in the early stages of game 1. Play the best 2 out of 3 games. The freshman level, each game will go, I believe, to 25. I'm trying to remember back, Joe. I think I just forgot. Thank you.
Yep, best of 3, 25.
On the third hit for Clearview, Jessica Baker couldn't quite get it over the net, and we are tied at 2. Going back to serve for Lorain is Hannah Lurie. Substitutions coming in for Clearview. Samantha Peak will come in to play the left side of the front row. And Lurie with the serve as we are tied at 2. There's a good long serve, and that one is unable to be returned, and it's 3-2 as Lorain takes their first lead early on here in game 1.
Had some power, nice low line drive serve by Lurie.
Yeah, you hit it that deep, and usually good things happen, Joe. So let's see as Lurie gets set for her second serve. Another good serve by Hannah Lurie. This time Clearview's able to put it over on the third hit. Getting that over was Brianna Novak, and we are tied at 3. And going back to serve for Clearview is Carlea King. Again, freshman girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. King with a good line drive serve, and that is a point for the Lady Clippers. Unable to pass it ahead was Mercedes Rivera of Lorain. Again, these two teams have, to this point of the year, struggling a little bit, at each with records of 1-7 according to their head coaches. There's a set. Instead of setting it at the net and faking everybody out was Jada Colbert. She puts it straight down. Nice job by Colbert, and we were tied at 4.
Snuck one in there.
Yes, she did.
Today we'll be covering 3 matches.
Yep, we've got the JVs for Maple Heights and then the varsity match with Maple Heights. And Joe, I know you always say in the Lake Erie League, those are 2 of the best teams.
Oh yeah, it should be a whale of a match today, both JV and varsity.
Grace Kirk comes in for Clearview as Lorain's able to get that serve. They lead 5-4. Clearview unable to play it.
But surprisingly enough, Rob, as good as Maple is, they don't have a freshman team this year.
Really?
Yeah, that's and Clearview had an open date, so yeah, good opportunity for the ladies to get some extra work.
Yeah, it worked out good for both teams. There's Kirk on the second hit, and a little miscommunication for the Clearview Lady Clippers as India Santiago and Samantha Peak were kind of both there, and I think each thought the other one was going to hit it, and it falls to the gym floor, and Lorain leads 6-4, I should say.
Communication, a critical part here.
Santiago from the back row. And on the third hit, Peak can't quite get there, and it's 7-4. Trying to set her at the net was Jessica Baker. And Lorain takes a 7-4 lead as the Titans have scored 4 consecutive points. All from the serving of Mercedes Rivera, who again has another good serve. Santiago, they get it over on the third hit, and this time Clearview gets the point. As Santiago with a good pass to Jessica Baker, and she gets the point at 7-5 Lorain. Left-handed serve, and it's a point for Clearview. As serving the ball is Kayla Clark, makes it 7-6. Set by Peak. Sent over by Baker. Back to the Lorain side. There's the set by the Titans. And putting it too close to the net was Rivera, so Tatiana Marrero couldn't get there. And we are tied at 7 as Clearview has scored the last 3 points. So neither team able to get much separation here early in game 1. Serve gets over the net. Set by Rivera, and it's a point again for Clearview. Unable to put that over is Haidia Swiggett. And Clearview leads 8-7. So Kayla Clark's done a nice job serving for Clearview. Line drive just got it over the net. And for the Titans, they'll hit it over on the third hit. Would have been out of bounds, but Clearview didn't hit it anyway, and we're tied at 8. Boy, that ball would have been out of bounds, but Kayla Clark played it. And we're tied at 8. We'll have a substitution. Clark will come out. Coming in for here is Kara Bachwich.
Yeah, she needed a little help from her teammates there.
Yep, you're right.
Well, it's hard to believe, Rob. We're about halfway through the volleyball season, and this Friday it's week 5 in high school football.
Yeah, it flies by, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I always tell people it goes fast unless you're the one who's at practice every day.
That's right.
Mackenzie Barnett to serve. Barnett with a good serve to the middle of the Clearview defense. Santiago hits it into the net, and it's a point for the Titans. They lead 9-8. Yep, you're right, Joe. Halfway through for football officially this weekend, and then, as you mentioned, volleyball basically a September-October sport, so we're getting close to the end of September. We're just about halfway through the season as well. Fall season, to me, goes the quickest of the 3. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I think so.
In my mind, it does. And the left side of the front row hitting it over, not in bounds, was Tatiana Marrero, so we're tied at 9. Seems like the basketball season goes on forever. I know it's a long one, but I also think because it's in the wintertime, Joe, it seems like it takes forever.
Yeah, you start play in November and, play through March.
They're going to give that point to Lorain. I'm not sure what the violation was on Clearview, so take the point away from the Clippers. Give it to Lorain, so Lorain leads 10-8 instead of a 9-9 tie. And I think David Payne wants a explanation from the referee. He's over at the scorer's table. Go over there and straighten them out, Joe.
Yeah, come on. We got 2 more matches to go.
You can straighten them out, Joe. Good to see Pam Jackson over there.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Pam in a while. Talked to her before the game.
Pam's doing well. One of the friendly faces here at Lorain High.
Understood she had a little health issue, so good to see her back with us. She's always at the volleyball and basketball.
Football, too. She's everywhere.
Serving.
Should put her to work.
Mackenzie Barrett, sounds like she's busy. Barrett hits it over. And the third hit by Jessica Baker for Clearview. And then a nice spike from the middle of the front row from Jada Colbert. And I think because Colbert is the setter, sometimes Clearview thinks she's going to set. When she sees that opening, Joe, she's able to put it straight down. Nice job by Jada.
Yeah, very nice.
Another good serve. Bachwich is able to hit it. There's the set. And putting it over on the third hit is Grace Kirk for Clearview. There's a set from Marrero, and she puts it into the net. That point will go to Clearview, and it's 11-9 Lorain.
Back and forth match here.
So neither team really able to get much separation. We've been tied at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, at 7, and at 8. And we're going to get a point for Lorain. Not sure what that was.
She stepped on the line, I believe.
Okay, thank you. A fault as she was
called that one
serving.
immediately.
There you go. Titans lead 12-9, and coming in to serve is Yasmin Faria. Faria's serve dug out nicely from the back row by Carlea King. And there's a spike that's going to be good. Point for Clearview, and it's 12-10 Titans. Back to serve is Grace Kirk. Kirk gets a high serve. There's the set from Colbert. And hitting it over on the third hit for the Titans. They're going to get the point, and putting that over was Hannah Lurie. It's 13-10 Lorain. We are in game 1. We play 2 games out of 3. They go to 25, and now coming in to serve for the Titans is Nia Smith.
All right, time to put some separation between.
This equals the biggest lead of the game 1, 3 points. And let's see if Smith can do what Joe asked her to do, and it's get some points here. Looked like a double hit for Clearview. It wasn't called, but unable to get it over. Makes it 14-10 Lorain. I don't know if at the freshman level, Joe, if they call everything that they would in a varsity match, or maybe if they let some things go.
Yeah, by the book they should, but I'm sure at this level they,
probably let a few things slide. Yeah,
absolutely.
Bachwich, and she's unable to pass it ahead, so it's 15-10. Lorain with 2 consecutive points, a 5-point lead. We're going to get our first time out here of game number 1. So again, we were tied at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 and 8, and since then. Lorain has outscored Clearview 7-2 to go from an 8-8 tie to a 15-10 lead. In fact, Lorain trailed 8-7 was the last time they trailed. So since that point, they have outscored the freshman Clearview Clippers by a score of 8-2. Clearview led 1-0, 2-1, 4-3, and their last lead was 8-7. Again, as Joe mentioned later on, we're going to have the JV match between Maple Heights and Lorain, and then coming up a little bit later, as we are excited for it, it'll be the varsity with Lorain and Maple Heights.
Yeah, sorry I don't have a program monitor for you tonight, Rob. It broke. It just... that
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like to use that to cheat off of to see where you're...
Yep.
But we'll live, Joe. Was that the first casualty of the year?
Yeah.
Nia Smith will serve it. Bachwich. There's the set. And hitting it over on the third hit is Jessica Baker for Clearview. Again, the set from the middle of the front row, hitting it deep. Nice job by Mercedes Rivera, played by the Clippers. Dug out from the back row, and Rivera's going to hit into the net, and that will give Clearview the point. Rivera had her back to the net, couldn't see how close she was. She backed into it, and that gives Clearview the point. It's 15-11.
Yeah, those monitors, they were widescreen monitors. They're like a couple $100. Then Mark's had them for $23, so I bought several of them for the cause.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a deal.
That one goes into the net. Clearview gets the point. It's 15-12.
Guess I should have bought one more.
India Santiago to serve. Santiago with the serve and unable to play. That was Hannah Lurie. It makes it 15-13. So Clearview with 3 straight points, Joe, getting back into game number 1 here.
That was a very strategic timeout by the Clippers.
David Payne, the coach for Clearview, and Elizabeth Benlack is the head coach for the Titans. Santiago again, another serve. It goes off the top of the net, out of bounds. That point will go to Lorain, and the Titans lead 16-13. I think that's the first serve of the match that's been into the net. Could be wrong on that, but the serving has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Jada Colbert to serve for Lorain. Colbert with an excellent serve, and that's a line drive ace at 17-13.
That was a nice serve at any level.
Absolutely. So Jada Colbert, her team up 17-13. Jada with another good serve, not quite the line drive. Santiago from the back row into the third hit will go into the net for Brianna Novak, and it's 18-13. The Titan lead is back up to 5, and this equals their biggest lead of game 1. Good line drive serve. Bachwich, back row. Santiago, third hit, puts it over. Dug out nicely from the back for the Titans. On the third hit, Nia Smith puts it over. Clearview plays it. Longest rally of game 1 by far. And there's a nice block at the middle of the front row. Going up to put that down was Aaliyah Thomas and Mercedes Rivera. And Lorain leads 19-13. That was impressive, Joe.
It was.
Jada Colbert to serve. Her team up 19-13. And we have a whistle and some movement.
It's like some alignment issues?
Yeah, I guess so. And so it's going to be a point for Lorain. They lead 20-13. And Colbert has served 5 consecutive points. Lorain has their biggest lead of game 1. Colbert sends it over. Third hit. Kayla Clark puts it back to the Titan side. And hitting it over on the third hit for the Titans is Aaliyah Thomas. Middle of the front row. Clippers send it over. Dug out nicely. Set by Colbert. There's the spike attempt. Dug out by the Clippers. Another good long rally here. And Colbert from the right side of the front row puts it over. Clearview now with their third attempt will hit it over. Colbert back over to the Clippers. Boy, that was played very well that time by Hannah Lurie. Colbert again with a set. Middle of the front row sent over, and there's a point for the Titans. Long rally. Mercedes Rivera put it over. Titans up 21-13, and they're 4 points away from game number 1.
Yeah, it was the rally of the night.
It really was.
That went on forever.
And Jada Colbert still serving. 6 consecutive points for this young lady. And she puts that into the net, and it's 21-14. But nice serving by Jada Colbert to increase that Titan lead from 15-13 to 21-13. We're in game 1 of freshman volleyball. You play 2 out of 3. From the back row, Aaliyah Thomas sends it over to Hannah Lurie, over to the Clippers. Santiago gets tangled up with Brianna Novak, and that will be a point for Lorain. They lead 22-14, and they're 3 points away from the first game. Substitution for Clearview, Cameron Milbert coming in. So Cameron Milbert in for the first time. And serving is Lurie. There's a nice line drive serve, an ace for Lurie and the Titans. 2 points from the game.
Very nice.
23-14 and timeout for Clearview. Coach Payne wants to call his girls over and talk to them here. They're down 23-14 in game number 1. You're watching girls freshman volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. You can follow us on Twitter at LCS_TV 20, or you can watch the YouTube station. That's Lorain Schools TV 20.
Keyword Lorain TV. And check out our Facebook page.
Is that on here? No, there you go.
Yep.
You can like Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook. And Joe, it says, and to win great prizes. What would that be, like a tour of the studios with Bob Schlembaker? Is that a prize?
Sure. For you, Rob, you win. Occasionally we'll give away some DVDs and some other things. Just random.
I think lunch with Bob Schlembaker would be a heck of a prize.
Yeah.
Hannah Lurie to serve. Lorain 2 points away from game number 1. Santiago from the back row sends it over. Dug out by Cameron Milbert for Clearview, and Milbert will put it over on the third hit. There's the set, and hitting it over for the Titans is Mercedes Rivera. And there's a point for the Titans, and we're at game point in game number 1. 24-14, so game point for Lorain. And trying to serve out game number 1 is Hannah Lurie. Lurie with a deep serve. It's too far and out. Good job by the Clippers to watch that one sail out. And it's 24-15. So now going back to serve to try to keep her team in this match is Cameron Milbert. Milbert with an excellent serve, and there's a point for the Clippers. 24-16. They still have a long way to go. Down by 8 on game point. But they have held off Lorain on 2 game points. And that serve will go wide. It's out of bounds, and that will give Lorain the first game at 25-16. So the Titans win game 1, 25-16. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, it'll be game 2 of freshman girls volleyball. Lorain and Clearview. Game 2 is coming up next. You're watching girls freshman volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools television.
Hi, my name is Paige Murphy. I'm 17 years old and I'm in the 11th grade at Lorain High School. I'm studying medical assisting with a focus on STNA through Lorain High's Career Tech Education program. I want to be a nurse one day, and taking a more hands-on career tech medical assisting classes is really helping me to grasp more concepts. I've wanted to be a nurse ever since my grandfather was diagnosed with PSP. PSP is a more extreme version of Parkinson's disease. I helped care for him. Hospice and nurses came to the house 24/7. I saw them care for him, and I thought I wanted to do this with my life. The Medical Assisting Career Tech program is helping me become an STNA before I graduate high school. That's the first step to my nursing career. It's a lot easier to learn in the CTE classes because it's more hands-on. It's stuff like that that's going to help me be a stronger nursing student one day. I knew what I wanted to do, and now I know how to do it. And it's all thanks to Lorain High's Medical Assisting STNA Career Tech program.
Have you ever bought a car and then realized you couldn't afford it? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. Don't be insane. At Credit Max Auto, you can get a really great car with a payment you can't afford. Visit us at creditmaxauto.com.
In an instant, life can change. Hi, I'm veteran J.R. Martinez. If you've been hurt or disabled due to your service, the last thing you need to do is hurry up and wait for a VA claims decision. Make sure you file an electronic, fully developed claim, or e-claim, for disability compensation on e-benefits. It's the fastest and easiest way to get a claims decision. Learn more at ebenefits.va.gov. E-claims and e-benefits. Online VA claims made simple.
Welcome back as we get set for game 2 of freshman volleyball. Lorain won the first game 25-16. And the Titans and the Clippers switch courts. So Lorain needs to win one more game to win this match. Clearview would have to win the next 2 games to win the match. Each team coming in with a 1-8 record, and going back to serve for Lorain. Starting this game off is going to be Jada Colbert. She did such a good job serving towards the end of game number 1 that first serve is going to be wide, and it gives Clearview a 1-0 lead. First game, we had 6 ties. The last one was at 8. And then Lorain got out to a 15-13 lead, and from that point outscored Clearview 10-3 to close the match out. Boy, a high, deep serve to the back row for the Titans. They're able to play it. On the third hit, hitting it over is Aaliyah Thomas. There's a set for Clearview from Ariana Leos, and the point goes to Lorain. We're tied at 1. Hannah Lurie to serve. And checking in for the Titans is Tatiana Marrero. Marrero will come in. She checks in for Yasmin Faria. The third hit, Cameron Milbert puts it over for Clearview. Bachwich from the back row dives to get that one, and Milbert with a good effort, but Clearview can't put it over on 3 tries, and Lorain gets their first lead early in game 2 at 2-1. Again, the Titans won game 1, 25-16 of girls freshman volleyball. Back to serve Hannah Lurie. for Coach Elizabeth Benlack in her first year. Each team coming in with a record of 1-7. So each team looking for that second win of the year, and hitting that one in the net is Lorain. We're tied at 2. And now going to serve for Clearview's freshman, coached by David Payne in his second year, India Santiago. Santiago with the line drive, put it into the net. That gives Lorain a 3-2 lead. Serving early on, not nearly as good as it was in the first game, Joe.
Yeah, we've already had a couple service errors.
Mercedes Rivera to serve for Lorain. And there's a nice line drive, deep serve that Santiago hits over the net on the second try. It's played by the Clippers, and getting the point for Clearview is Jessica Baker. She hit it right to the middle of the Lorain defense, found the hole in the defense, and we're tied at 3.
Nice placement.
So much like the first game, can't get any separation early on in the second game, and coming back in for Clearview will be Samantha Peak. She played in the first game. Baker sends it over. Dug out by the Titans. And Marrero will hit it over. Milbert with the set for Peak. Peak will put it over from the left side of the front row. Jada Colbert. And the third hit, putting it over, is Hydea Swiggett, and Clearview will get the point.
Same spot, Rob.
Yep, but I guess we're going to get a call against Clearview here, and they're going to give that point to the Titans. So for a mishit or an illegal hit, David Payne not agreeing with the officiating on that one, but Lorain gets the point. Lead 4-3. Okay.
I didn't really see it, but yeah, we'll go with it.
Missed that one as well. There's Samantha Peak from the middle of the left side, and she puts it over on the third hit. Colbert with the set for the Titans. Milbert with the set for Clearview. Back to Baker. Baker sends it over to the Titan side. Battle at the net, and it's going to go to Clearview. And winning that battle was Kayla Clark. We're tied at 4. So we've been tied at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Joe, that's exactly how the first game went.
At this point, there was then Lorain took what, a 7-4 lead?
They did. You're right. They scored 3 in a row, and then Clearview answered back with 3 straight to tie it at 7. We would be tied at 8, and then from that point on, Lorain was able to go with it. Milbert hits it into the net for Clearview, so that serve into the net gives Lorain a point and a 5-4 lead. Yasmin Faria set the serve for Lorain. And she puts it to the middle of the Clearview defense. It goes out of bounds. Point for Lorain. They lead 6-4. There's Milbert. Pass ahead. Samantha Peak digs it out. And the play at the middle of the net. And the Titans, I think, had a double hit. They do, or a lift, illegal lift. And that point goes to Clearview at 6-5, Lorain.
Nice effort, but.
And now going back to serve is Kayla Clark. She did a good job serving for Clearview in the first game, Joe. Clark gets it over. Colbert with the set. Left side of the front row, and there's going to be a point for the Clippers. Is unable to get it over. It was Hydea Swiggett. A double hit on Swiggett. We're tied at 6. Clark sending it over to the Titans. And Colbert puts it over, and we're going to get a point for Lorain as Clippers were underneath the net and over onto the Lorain side. That gives Lorain a point, and they lead 7-6. Joe, you can't touch the net, and you also can't go underneath it to your opponent's side of the court. Titans up 7-6. There's a set from the middle of the front row, and Samantha Peak can't get there. And it's 8-6. With that set was Grace Kirk for Clearview. 8-6, Lorain leads. And that serve goes long, and it goes over the hands
Tip.
of Kara. Oh, did she tip it?
I believe so.
All right, they're going to give that point to Lorain.
That's our biggest lead of this this game.
It is 9-6. You're right, it hit Karabakwich. So that will give the point to Lorain. From the middle of the front row, Grace Kirk puts it into the net. Point for Lorain. They lead 10-6. So finally some separation. 4 straight points after we were tied at 6. And David Payne wants a timeout for Clearview. This is Clearview's first timeout of game number 2. He took 2 timeouts in the first game. As Lorain leads 10-6, they won the first game 25-16. As Lorain looks to put Clearview away in 2 straight games here. Again, you can follow us on Twitter, and that is at LCS_TV20. The YouTube station is Lorain Schools TV20, and you can like Lorain Schools TV20 on Facebook and win great prizes. You're watching WLCS TV20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. Alongside Joe Bach, I'm Rob Polinsky for Freshman Volleyball. Coming up later, we'll have JV Volleyball and then also varsity. And the JV and varsity, those are going to be Lake Erie League matches with the Maple Heights Mustangs.
Yeah, whenever Lorain and Maple get together, it's always a great match.
Getting used to the new gym, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
I am getting excited. I know it's still about 2 months away, but I'm getting excited for basketball in here.
Yeah, well, it should be another exciting season.
I would think. And I think the girls are going to get improved after another year of experience, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I think Mark Feldman's team will be better. There's an ace for Nia Smith, unable to play that were the Clippers, so 5 straight points. Lorain leads 11-6.
Although it'll be the first time without an Andrew brother here.
That's
quite
right.
A few years.
Yeah. Bakwich from the back row. Kirk will send it over on the third hit. Nice job by Grace Kirk for Clearview. And from the middle of the front row, hitting it into the net for Lorain was Mercedes Rivera. That gives Clearview the point, and they lead, or I should say Clearview trails 11-7. Yeah, that will be a little different, won't it, without Devon or Davier Andrews.
Yeah, they've been looking good. They've been having some open gyms, and there's a whole bunch of kids coming out, though. Wow.
I know they share quite a few kids, too, right, with football. Dave McFarland has a lot of basketball players on this team. Nas Bohannon being one, it comes to mind.
Right.
Jada Colbert with the serve for Lorain. They lead 12-7. Left side of the front row, nice job by Sarah Baker. Or Jessica Baker, I'm sorry. Jessica Baker puts it over for Clearview and gets the point. It's now 12-8. Lorain's lead is down to 4. Grace Kirk to serve for Clearview. She gets it over. Play at the net. Jada Colbert puts it back to the Clearview side. Now it's back to Lorain, and that's going to be a point for the Clippers. So serving will be Kirk. Serve is dug out from the middle of the front row by Mercedes Rivera. Rivera will send it over to the Clipper side. Now on the third hit for Clearview, putting it over is Ariana Leos. And we've got a point for Clearview. And it makes it 12-10.
What was the call there?
Don't know. I was looking down at my roster to see the girl's name. Now, sometimes I miss things, Joe, because I'm looking at the roster to get the names. And
I was watching the officials, and I'm still clueless.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't have known anyway, so I'll just go with I was looking at the roster. Hitting it over for the third time for Lorain is Mercedes Rivera. Grace Kirk will put it over. That's pretty deep, and it is out of bounds. Point to Lorain.
Good decision there not to play it.
It is one thing, Joe, is that since I don't get to see these teams very often, and you literally get everything 5 minutes before the game, I do spend a lot of the time with my head down looking for the girls' names.
Sure.
Hannah Lurie to serve for Lorain. We're going to get a substitution for Clearview. Coming in for the Clippers, Cameron Milbert, who we've seen throughout this game, comes in for Carlea King. Serve is too far. It's out of bounds, long. That will give the point to Clearview. Clearview now with the serve. They trail by 2, 13-11, and serving is India Santiago. Santiago hits it over. Is that on the line or out of bounds? It is on the line. That's an ace for Clearview.
Yeah, I thought it was in.
And the officials agree with you, Joe, and it's 13-12, and now Santiago can tie the game as the Maple Heights team comes in to the gym. They will be playing the JV and the varsity as soon as this is over. Third hit, hitting it over for the Titans, but hitting it off the ceiling is going to be Tatiana Marrero, and we are tied at 13. So give the Clippers credit, Joe. They have come all the way back after they trailed by 5 points, 11-6, to tie this at 13, and Santiago puts it into the net, gives Lorain a 14-13 lead. That serve, is that going to be over? Yes, it is. A line drive serve on the line by Mercedes Rivera, and it's 15-13 Titans.
Perfect placement there by Mercedes.
Lorain girls leading 1-0. This is game 2. So if they get this one, the freshman girls will get a victory. And serving is Mercedes Rivera. Should Clearview come back to win this game, then we would have a third and deciding game that would go to 15 after this, and the Clippers get the point right there as Milbert wins the battle at the net with Hidea Swiggett of Lorain. It's 15-14, Titans by 1. Middle of the front row, Colbert sends it over, and it's good. Boy, Jada Colbert makes good decisions on when to set and when to dink it over. She's done that several times, Joe.
Yeah, well, sneaky there. They were expecting for Lorain to set it up, and boom, point.
Titans with Colbert. Now the middle of the front row, they send it over by Swiggett. Santiago from the back row for Clearview will send it over to the Titan side. Colbert with the set. Swiggett, middle of the front row, sends it over, and Baker can't pass it ahead. She puts it into the net. So Jessica Baker puts it into the net. Kayla Clark couldn't play it, and the Titans lead 17-14. Good serve, Samantha Peak with the dig for Baker. Now back to Peak, left side of the front row, sends it over, but out of bounds. 18-14 Lorain. Mackenzie Barnett with the serve for Lorain. Colbert with the set, middle of the front row. Swiggett puts it into the net. That's a point for Clearview, and it's 18-15 Titans. Cameron Milbert to serve. Her team trailing 18-15. Milbert puts it over. Dug out by the Titans. And from the middle of the front row, Colbert sends it back to the Clearview side. Baker with the set. Grace Kirk will put it over to the Titans. Colbert back to Kirk. Kirk with the spike. It's wide, out of bounds. Lorain gets the point. They lead 19-15. Substitution for Clearview coming into the game will be Carlea King, and coming out is going to be Cameron Milbert. And serving is Yasmin Faria. Faria with a good serve right in front of India Santiago. Point for Lorain. They lead 20-15. Since Lorain led 15-14, they have outscored Clearview 5-1 to increase that 1-point lead out to 5, which is where we're at right now. Peak battling at the net with the Titans, and it's going to fall on the Clearview side. Point for Lorain, they lead 21-15. And the Titan freshmen are 4 points away from their second win of 2016. Faria gets it to Santiago. Santiago on the third hit, right back to the Titans. Colbert and her and Peak will battle. Peak wins that one, and Clearview cuts the lead to 21-16. Well, Clearview running out of chances, Joe. They need some serves here from Kayla Clark to get back into game 2 here.
Yeah, 4 more points for the Titans, and they're going to wrap this match up.
So Clark will see what she can do about it, and that is a point, as hitting it over is Jessica Baker. Found a hole in the back of the Lorain defense, nobody there, and it's 21-17. Clark, that left-handed serve, she puts it off the top of the net. Point will go to Lorain, and Titans lead by 5, 22-17, and they're 3 points away from this match. And coming in to see if she can get them a little bit closer is going to be Nia Smith. Smith with a good serve. Peak got it to Bachwich. Ahead to Baker. Puts it over on the third hit to the Titans. Colbert right back over to the Clearview side. Baker with the set. Peak will hit it over and get the point. Samantha Peak from the set from Jessica Baker, and it's 22-18. Lorain's lead is down to 4. And Peak will go back to serve for Clearview. Nice dig for the Titans, and digging that out and sent it over was Mercedes Rivera. Rivera will put it back to the Clipper side again. And there's a point as Bachwich and Peak couldn't get it over. And it's 23-18 Titans. And substitution for Clearview. Coming back into the match for the Clippers is Ariana Leos. She'll come in for Samantha Peak. And going back to serve for Lorain is Jada Colbert. Santiago to Baker, back to Santiago. Third hit gets it over to the Titan side. And on the third hit and going into the net, though, that'll be a point for Clearview. Brushing the net for Lorain was Mercedes Rivera. So Clearview with a point. They trail 23-19. Serving for Clearview, Grace Kirk. Colbert with the set. Sent over by the Titans. Baker sends it back. Nice diving attempt by Nia Smith, but Lorain can't get it over, and it's 23-20. Clippers within 3.
It's getting a little bit too close here, Rob.
Kirk with the serve. Nia Smith back row for the Titans to Jada Colbert. Ahead to Mercedes Rivera. Sends it right back to Kirk. Second hit by the Clippers. They get it over, and there's a beautiful placement of the ball for Rivera, and it's match point. Boy, Clearview was cheating up on defense, left that the back of the court exposed, and the Titans found it. And it's match point.
Good court awareness by the ladies there.
Yes. Serving, Hannah Lurie for the match. Titans lead 24-20. Lurie serve to Santiago over the net, and a double hit, and give it to Clearview. Nice job, India Santiago. That was not easy. And it's 24-21, and Santiago will go back to serve. And substitution coming in for Clearview is going to be Kayla Clark. Santiago with a good serve. Middle of the front row, Colbert. Get it over on the third hit. Santiago passes ahead. There's a set by the Clippers, and putting it, not able to get it over the net where the Clippers off the set of Carlea King, and the match will go to Lorain. Well, Joe, it wasn't easy. It was pretty well played. First game, Lorain wins 25-16. They win game 2, 25-21. With the win, the Lorain freshmen go to 2-7. With the loss, the freshmen for Clearview go to 1-8. We had 6 ties in game 1. We had 6 ties at game 2. Our last tie at game 2 came at 13. But well played, and congratulations to Elizabeth Benlack and the freshman girls.
Yeah, we don't get a chance to do too many. We cover a few of the underclass matches, so I'm glad they could pick up a win.
No doubt.
On TV 20.
So congratulations.
So congratulations. Yep.
Yeah, congratulations to Elizabeth Benlack and the freshman Lorain Titans as they win it into 25-16 and 25-21. Well, that's going to do it for our broadcast of freshman girls volleyball. And I want to thank Joe Bach for his help with the camera work and his color commentary. Most of all, we want to thank you for watching, and once again remind you the final scores today. It was Lorain in 2 games over Clearview in freshman volleyball, 25-16 and 25-21. This is Rob Polinsky saying, have a good night, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.